do that?
Two more points of contention. One, schools, okay? I am an antagonist, full disclosure, to the idea of how we're handling schools. It doesn't make sense to me, Doc, that one case closes down a whole school. They don't have any real ways of getting you testing. They have different kinds of tests in different periods. New York City just shut down all the schools. The rate in the city is 3%. What's magic about 3%? The rate in the schools is 0.17%. Why close the schools? Why not close everything else before you close the schools? What am I getting wrong?
You get nothing wrong. I agree with you completely. I think one of the things we need to do is, to the best of our capability, try to keep the kids in school. The numbers you said are true. If you look at the rate of infectivity, I mean, obviously, you want to be sensitive to the safety and the health of the children. You
And the
want to have a
teachers
plan
and the families
of how
and the
to
staff.
deal with it.
I get it.
And of course, the teachers. You want to do that. Having said that, you check that box. You want to make sure you're sensitive and you do whatever you can to protect the children and protect the teachers, because then indirectly you're protecting other people. Having said that, my feeling is the default position: keep the schools open if you possibly can. And you're absolutely correct. I agree with you completely on that.
So why aren't more people upset about this? Like, why aren't more of our leaders saying, we got to do better with the schools? We got to get Fauci to get like 10 of his smartest friends and find the places that have done it better, so we can get some kind of uniform standards, so we can figure out what works, because we did a better job in 1918 in terms of educating kids outside and keeping them in school than we're doing right now. And I think it's all fear and not enough fact.
Right. So I'm here talking to you about it and being very transparent about it. That's the way I feel. Many of my colleagues feel the same way.
But why isn't anything changing? Why isn't it getting better?
You know, Chris, I don't have control over all the disparate things that are going on. As I told you before, we have a great country. You have a lot of variation in the country. You have geographic, culture, and other differences. When you're dealing with a pandemic that's an infectious disease, everybody's got to be in it together. You got to pull together. We can't have people doing this way, that way. It doesn't work. We've got to do it in a unified way, whether that's the things I mentioned to you just a few minutes ago about the 4 or 5 public health measures, or whether it's looking at schools and knowing there may be some differences, but you have to have a fundamental principle of schools. And as I told you, my feeling is, and I guess it agrees with you because you just told me, to the best of your capability, you want to keep the kids in school.
And look, I'm just trying to figure out if it's the right thing to chase. I mean, Trump, that administration, he's a revenant. But when Biden comes in, am I wrong to chase after them and say, you got to own schools? You have to own what the right guidance is for people, the right standards, the right thresholds, because everything we're doing with schools is making things worse. Hard for families that can't work. There's a lot of stress and anxiety. It's tough for the teachers and their families. The testing isn't there. And the inequities. Kids are already unequal based on income and where they live. And now they don't have the same technology or Wi-Fi or equipment. A lot of kids need help. The kids who need help can't get the help as everything's exacerbated. Should I chase them to own it?
Yeah, go ahead. I encourage you to do it.
Good.
I mean, I
say
speak
you sent
out
me.
about that, and I sent you, Chris. Go for it.